they split, and here's Jeremy Taggart in a minute.
Here on rawmikerichards.com, and it is Jeremy Taggart. Tags, how you doing, buddy?
How you doing, boys?
Well, as we just had Johnny Gallant on moments ago, and he started talking about some of his experiences. And you know what? I think, Tags, what is going to happen today is there are moments, and he just had one, where he got choked up. It caught up with him. And guess what? I think the whole country, Tags, is going to be doing this not only today, but this is going to be a hard one to get over. And, of course, for someone like yourself in that industry of a similar time, did you guys ever share tour arrangements or the crew?
Yeah, many times.
Yeah.
No, we both. I mean, we shared crew. I mean, we played tours together, shows together. I mean, big shows, corporate shows. I mean, so I was a fan as a drummer. As a kid, I would play along with their records, and I mean, they were kind of one of my favorite bands before I started playing in OLP. So. To kind of look at them as my favorite Canadian band and then become peers and actually eventually friends with them and golfing with them and it was quite a learning experience just to talk to those guys. And our piece really kind of took everything that the Hip did, and we wouldn't do anything they didn't do, and we would do everything that they did do. So it wasn't just the impact that they had on this country. Everything that they did was really the bar for what success means, for sure.
You know, at some point too, Tags, they crossed that boundary of just being rock stars or a musical act to being culturally significant in this country. In fact, if someone said to me, "What is Canadian?" and I was in another part of the world, I'd say, well, Tim Hortons, Tragically Hip, and loving hockey. I mean, if you want to throw Back Bacon in there, but they became that. And I'm just curious. We also asked John this question too. But what made them so attractive to Canada? And say, unlike Rush, who I always am one of my favorite bands of all time, but that was 95% a male audience. The Tragically Hip didn't have that. They touched everybody.
Yeah, I think it's got to do with the fact that they were quintessentially ours, and I think that means, like, no matter I remember being in Europe or southern states or a place where you wouldn't think to see anybody Canadian, and they would be playing. I've seen them I think I saw them in the middle of Germany, and I swear the crowd was like 80% Canadian. So that's their fans would just be like, they would come out of the woodwork, and I think honestly the Tragically Hip represented Canada great and better than anybody because of Gord's lyrics and because of Gord's authenticity and because of Gord's charm and his courage and grace, and the fact that he dealt with that perspective. I mean, Mike, you know more than any of us that the things that go through your mind when cancer is in your body and the fight that you have, and imagine a terminal brain illness and all the things that he accomplished in the last year and a half. It's staggering. It really is.
Yeah, it certainly is, and well said, Jeremy. We're in conversation with Jeremy Taggart, formerly of Our Lady Peace, joining us, and now he's a media icon, Jeremy Taggart. So
an icon.
He's going to be highly requested today, let me tell you.
Yeah.
And we're very thankful to have him here on the program with us. Any meetings with Gord, or did you ever get a chance to talk to him or bump into him? I know you guys cross paths, but a lot of times you have a busy schedule, they have a busy schedule, and musicians, just because you're at a festival doesn't mean you guys have like hours to talk, because you clearly don't. Did you ever get an opportunity to actually say hi to Gord, or he come by and maybe chat with you?
Well, I mean, many times I've had he was backstage, or he was the type of person that would always have time for you and would talk to me. And I think probably my most cherished memory of Gord was we were playing at the SARS benefit at the ACC, and everybody was there. Bruce Colburn was there. Peter Mansbridge was hosting it. The Bare Naked Ladies were playing, obviously the Hip and us, OLP at the time. And we were playing our show, and I looked over, and there's like Gord sitting on a road case kind of backstage. And I'm like, wow, what the hell's he doing there? And then we finished the show, and I go up to him. I was like, hey, man, what's going on? He's like, man, I'm a huge fan of your drumming. I just love watching you play, and just thanks for entertaining me for the last 45 minutes or whatever it is.
Wow.
And I was like, just my jaw hit the floor, and I was like, man, you have no idea. Like, I love you guys so much, and I just think the world of you, and I really grew up playing your music. And he was always like so nice about that stuff. Like, he knew I was a big fan, and yet they really treated us as peers. So like I said, they kind of everything that we wanted to do and wanted to be as a band, they were the first and foremost. And I hate to mention that, in the book Canadianity that we're writing, I actually talked about my top 5 favorite bands, and they're number 1. And I kind of explain it better than talking when I'm writing. So it really, it's just the last year and a half, it's been really difficult because everybody was like, it's a terminal illness and it's probably going to happen. Yet everybody was hoping that it wouldn't,
Well, the one thing, Jeremy, and I had to speak at one of the Terry Fox runs up actually in Stouffville, my hometown, and sort of looking at significant landmarks and people in this country. I really think, in the long run, because of what he did and how he did it, I think in a very similar way, like Terry Fox, I really think probably Gord is going to fall into that category in terms of his legacy. I don't think that's something that he, in any stretch of the imagination, wanted to do. But
I agree. 100%.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. No, I mean, you're right, because the fight that he had in him and what he felt was he felt that with the North and the way things are, and I guess the celebration of Canada's 150th, his thing was just, let's make it right. Let's make the next 150, getting back to what Canada really should be. And that is a place that includes everybody from the history of this continent. And like I said, and like you said, I mean, he having that perspective and going what he was going through, yet still, soldiering on and just speaking up for people that need to be spoken up for.
Yeah, very, very brave. Hey, Tags, thanks so much for joining us here on the show. And you know what? As I said beforehand, we got to get you down here. You realize we've got this cool little setup down on King Street, and it's dying for a drummer with longer hair who lives in a magical home that overlooks water. I mean, I said, hey, we need someone like that in here. Who can we find? I think that's Jeremy Taggart. We'd love to have you down here, man.
Anytime.
Oh, that'd be great. And thanks so much for today.
Anytime. I'd love to. And sorry about the circumstances, but talk to you guys soon, and absolutely anytime.
Thank you so much, my friend. That is Jeremy Taggart joining us here, formerly of Our Lady Peace.
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yep.